I have been thinking about this question for quite a while. If you move abroad, should you actually stay in that country permanently? Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Her Second Bloom. I still remember when I graduated from Sydney Uni, my visa was about to expire just in a few months. And that was the first time I really feel it. Leaving Australia is actually a decision about my life. Part of me really wants to stay this country because everything I had built over those 5 years, my friends, my part-time job, my favorite restaurants, weekends at the beach, the sunshine, all those small daily routines, they were real. And I didn't want all of that to slowly turn into just memories. But another part of me wasn't so sure. I was still young, and I kept asking myself, how do I know this is the right place for me if I haven't really seen the world yet? Have you ever had that feelings? So instead of deciding straight away, I left for a while. I went to Europe, lived in Paris, traveled a few different countries, and honestly, I thought maybe I would have found somewhere better, but I didn't. Instead, something became very clear to me. I miss Australia. Not in a dramatic way, just a very quiet, very certain feeling that this was a place I could actually live in. So I came back to Australia and I chose to stay. And now, it's been almost 18 years. I don't regret it, but I do want to be honest with you. Living abroad long term, you don't just gain things, you also slowly lose certain things. One of the first things I realized is that I am always living slightly in between. I can integrate it into the system, build a career, have friends, and live a pretty stable life. But belonging is something deeper than that. I grew up in Shanghai, and a lot of how I understand people, relationships, even small social cues comes from my background. So sometimes, even in very normal situations like a group conversation or a casual social event, there is a subtle moment where I feel slightly outside of it. Not excluded, but just not fully merged. And over time, I realized this feeling doesn't completely go away. So, have you ever felt that? Like you are there, but you are not fully there. You also start to understand what it really means to lose that support from the root. Back home, there is always someone behind you, your parents, your extended family, people you can turn to, even without asking. That presence gives you a kind of confidence you don't really notice when you have it or when you are back home. But when you live abroad, especially on your own, everything becomes your responsibility. Every decision, every risk, every mistake, you carry it yourself. And you start to realize that a lot of people's strength actually comes from being supported, not just from their own ability. Another thing that changes is how you feel about your own culture. At the beginning, you may miss the food, miss the people, but after a few years, it becomes things much deeper. I remember watching things like the Beijing Olympics and Hangzhou Asian Games, or even just a Spring Festival celebration online. I feel proud, genuinely proud, but at the same time, I wasn't there. I wasn't inside of that shared atmosphere, that collective feeling, and that creates a kind of quiet distance. You still feel connected, but not in a complete way. Language is also something that shapes your experience more than people expect. It's not about whether you can communicate, you can live or work completely in English, but in fast-paced environment like meetings, presentations, or complex discussions, there is often a small delay. You think in Chinese first and then translate it into English, and by the time you say it, the moment has slightly shifted. Meanwhile, native speakers respond instantly, with exactly the right tone and wording. It's a small gap, but over time, it affects how confident you feel speaking up, especially in situations where presenter and leadership matter. Do you ever feel like you know exactly what you want to say? It just doesn't come out in the same way. As time goes on, you also become aware of the life you didn't choose. China has developed incredibly fast over the past 10 or 20 years. In technology, lifestyle, convenience, and opportunities. Sometimes when I go back or talk to friends, I realize how different things have become. And naturally, you start to wonder, if I had stayed, what would my life look like now? It's not a regret, it's just an awareness that every decision creates a different version of your life, and you only get to live one of them. Daily life also requires more effort than people say. In your home country, you know how systems work, who to ask, and what is normal, what is abnormal. But when you're abroad, even simple things like finding a good GP, understand a contract, you are constantly checking, comparing, making sure you understood correctly. And these small things added up. And often you can't fully explain these feelings to other people back to your home country, because from the outside, everything just looks fine. And finally, relationships. You can meet people, make friends, have a social life, but long term, it feels different. Many of the people you meet are also in transition. They're studying, working, moving, eventually leaving. Some of my earlier friends have already gone back to China or back to their own country. And over time, you realize how rare it is to have someone who stays in your life over many years, across different stages. And you are not alone, but there is a deep kind of loneliness that sits underneath. So, should you stay abroad? I don't think there is a right answer. Staying doesn't mean you succeed, and leaving doesn't mean you failed. It really comes down to this: what kind of life do you actually want to build? For me, even with all these layers, this life still feels right, so I stayed here. But for you, the answer might be different, and that's okay, because in the end, you are not choosing a country, you are choosing a life. If this resonates with you, I'd really love to hear your thoughts. Would you stay or going back? Take care of yourself. I will see you in the next video. Bye now.